Hey, sup? How about we check in and check out at TWOSUN? Woo! How you like that? I saw it. I timed it just right. All right, what's in this box? The little cardboard box. Okay, I've kind of been excited for this one. Little green G10 pocket knife. Little TWOSUN green one. I don't know. There's something about like an inexpensive knife not being afraid to look like an inexpensive knife. I'm okay with a budget knife. All right. They didn't pack it any different. I'll tell you that much. There we go. Lots of tape and plastic going on here. This one just looked so cool that I had to get it. I mean, you already know by now, if it's a TWOSUN, there's probably a good chance I'm going to take a run at it just so I can get it in my collection. That continues to grow. What am I going to do with this collection at some point? I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, it's substantial enough. I mean, I got to do something with it. You know, it's a. I have a lot of these things, man. I'm gonna do a road show and just go, hey, TWOSUN knives. All right, let's look at this thing. I like it. It's got that good G10. It's got a great pattern on it. So it's like G10 with an inlay of G10. It'd be interesting to get that open. I don't think that comes apart because that, I mean, if it does, who did they do a good job of milling that? Hey, let's not dilly-dally. Let's look at this blade. Yeah. I mean, I better find the model number of this because I don't think I know it off the top of my head, and it doesn't say. All right, it is a TS168 in 12C27 steel. Can you see that? There it is. Except it's this way. Not sure who that designer is, but I'm sure somebody will. They can comment down below. Hey, FYI, this towel is clean. It's fresh out of the wash. It's just stained up. All right. Let's run this thing a little bit. Thumb stud works good. We already know that back flipper worked good. How about a Spidey flick? Whew, detent's kind of tight. Like held on to the very end. Yeah, same. Twice in a row. And that it's got pretty aggressive cross hatching on that stud. And so on the Spidey flick, man, I feel that. Thumb stud, not so bad. Yeah, that works really good. Comes out of there super hard. Very nice authority. I mean, initially the action, the blade shape, I mean, it's kind of an imposing little pocket knife. Lots of green. Yeah. We'll see how that pocket clip does. I think it's got plenty of space. It's just, whew, it is, it's got sharp angles coming in and going out. But, hey, let's get in it. We'll take it apart, clean it up. Ooh, that was not tight at all. I could have took that out with my fingers. This one wasn't much better. That one had a little tension on it, but really kind of nothing. Nothing of consequence. Looking at it, should come apart. Unless it's got a hidden under screw in the liners. I mean, I'm going to say it must. because it is not wanting to come apart. Well, let's pull the pocket clip. There's no reason to hang on to that. We'll just get it off of there and see what we come across. Well, it looks like the pocket clip, I don't know, is it going all the way through the... Yeah, it's going, well, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. But there's enough oil back in here. We wanted to get that off that liner anyways. 100%. I mean, so we already know I'm not a huge fan of pocket clips recessed into G10 or micarta, but it's really recessed. It's way down in there, and it's got almost a rectangular profile. So, I mean, be a lot better if it had 2 screws, but that does fit in there pretty good. Time will tell. I mean, it's soft material, and this pocket clip's going to take some pressures, you know, that's going to make it want to turn in there. You know, it is what it is. This definitely doesn't separate from that scale. And I don't think there was a screw holding this. I think it was just the scales on these spacers. They're just holding on. Yep, that's all it was. I just needed to manipulate it. All right, let's get the blade out of the way. I mean, I don't really see anything that's going to help me improve the action, which kind of is a bummer because the drop action wasn't really that great on this knife. What we got going here? Definitely not screwed into it. It's just fit tight. But that scale's got to come off because with the amount of oil that was on this one, we got to get that scale off that liner. Lots of skeletonizing. Yeah, plenty of oil back there. We wanted to get that off. All right, let's clean it up. Get all this oil rubbed off of it. I don't really see anything here that's making me think I'm going to be able to improve that action. But, you know, you never know, man. Sometimes you don't see a thing and you put it back together and the action's amazing. So we'll see. Yeah, so, you know, it's odd what catches my eye, but, man, this thing caught my eye. I do like the green. I mean, I've always been one of those guys, too. Like, there's a rule, you know, you never paint your motorcycle green. I don't know, some of you OGs watching maybe remember that or know it. You don't paint your motorcycle green, and you know there's just something about it, and I'm not going to get down into all that nonsense, but I always kind of, I mean, if I'm not supposed to, you know, it's like, oh, tempt me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about superstition, man. Black cats and Friday the 13th. Hey, man, bad things are going to happen on Friday the 10th. No different than Friday the 13th. You know what I mean? Like, if you put yourself in situations where that can exist, you know what? You don't expect it on the 10th. You're only waiting on it on the 13th. Tuesday the 10th is good to go. Yeah, don't make no sense to me, man. Yeah, so anyways, here's what I was saying. Nothing extravagant about this knife. It doesn't have high-end steel, which, I mean, that 12C27, you know, when it was around and prevalent, it was a reasonable steel. And did I miss anything? I think I got it all. Maybe get these little barrel spacers because there was definitely a bunch of oil on them. we'll get this thing put back together. But yeah, for the most part, pretty simple knife. And I like simple, especially if it's got a good self-defense profile and I don't have to worry about the knife. So if I gotta, use it, pry a battery cable or, all the stuff you're not supposed to do with your pocket knife, I tend to do. If it happens, it doesn't happen to me much anymore. But if it does, I don't want to say, hey, hold on, I gotta get a tool I can actually use. That goes that way. All right, let's get these two in there. Yeah, come on. It's not wanting to cooperate at all. Everything's sticky. All right, we're all the way through. There we go. I better do the other one before I claim victory. There we go. Oh, so much so it fell out. Let's get this line back up. Needs to be facing the back of the knife. There we go. All right, finally. Oof. Okay. Oh, man. So, wrong scale. When I do stuff like that, I wonder how many of y'all saw it, like when I'm doing it. This is clearly the scale for the lock side. This is the one that goes down. Plus, I was upside down the whole time. And I could sense it. Hey, something's not right here. And not those little spacers giving me trouble, but just the way everything was lined up. It was the fact because it was upside down. Yeah, completely had me backwards. Yeah, because these are going to give me trouble going in this way too. So it wasn't this. It was just the fact that it was upside down. It just felt odd to me. And there we go. All right. Maybe that's an indicator. It's like, hey, man, maybe you shouldn't be doing videos tonight or something. Take the night off. It's okay. And it's like, nah, I'm gonna push through, man. I'm gonna get after it. Hey, so one of the things that I've been trying to figure out is how to do a giveaway. I definitely have some knives that I want to include into a giveaway and, maybe start to do a regular thing. I don't know, weekly, whatever, some kind of giveaway. And some of these, listen, I'm not giving away Chavez knives, every week or maybe ever. That's a lot of money, man. I don't know that I'm going to be giving away car payment knives, but some of these less expensive knives that I would gift. I mean, truthfully, some of these I buy multiple versions of just so I can gift them. And so I'd love to figure out how to gift them to some of y'all on the channel. And so I really am investigating how to do that. you know, in the beginning, I thought it would just be a simple thing. Well, man, I'm just going to do a giveaway. And it's not that simple. It's a little more complicated. It's like, well, you know, how do I do it? How do I manage it? You know, anyways, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm also trying to figure out, I mean, I guess it's just a channel update right now in this low end knife, but I'm also trying to figure out how to do sharpening videos. At least one, you know, my belt system, run some knives through it, sharpen them. Because it doesn't take me long. Like, I could dull this knife out right here and completely run it on something, dull it completely out, and have it back to, I mean, a razor's edge in 5 minutes. It doesn't take long on that belt system, man. Once you figure it out, and your hand movements and how you're holding the knife and running all that, it doesn't take long at all. So I probably just have several knives that, you know, hey, let's do this one. Here's this type of knife. Here's this type of knife. And do a couple to show that. Anyways, I got to figure out how to run the camera, how to do it, because one of the key components is raising a burr along the edge of that knife. Well, I want to be able to show that and show how quickly it comes up from one side to the other. As I'm running across the belt, I'll come across, and you literally, I'll see that burr come up. And once I see it across this whole side, well, then I'm over to the other side, and man, now it's just maintenance, you know, a couple of strokes, and then I change belts. And depending on what kind of edge I'm looking for, is it polished edge or a toothy edge, is how many progressions of belts I go through to work my way up to a strop. So anyways, that's a lot about blade sharpening, but yeah, so I want to get that figured out so that I can do that on the channel. I also have some stuff I'm working on with some custom knives. I want to feature that on the channel. I want to feature the artist. I'm going to call it artist because, I mean, some of these guys are doing stuff that I could never dream of doing with a knife. And that, man, they are turning out some really cool stuff. So I'm excited about that. Like, maybe like visit some people in their shops and, you know, highlight them and the work they're doing. So I have some of that in the future for the channel. I'm going to dye some scales. I want to do that. I've got some dye, and I'm going to, you know, I want to run that through the channel, how to change the scale color, and purposefully buy some knives in like natural G10 to see if I can't get them to color up nice. I don't think it's a complicated process, but I also have the facilities to polish down in my shop and polish metal. So I think I'm going to dabble with some of that, polishing titanium scales, certain parts of the knife, maybe the whole knife, maybe blades, some polishing. That I'm comfortable with. The anodizing and, you know, like changing the shape of the blade type thing, I don't know that I'm into any of that. But yeah, so there's some of that in the channel's future. But I just got to figure it all out. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how to review a knife, how to kind of walk it through my process and what I do. But there's also other content for the channel that's down the road as well. You know, some firearm content, other potential, I don't know, what would I call it? EDC, bushcraft, I don't know, that kind of content, you know, potentially for the channel down the road as well. This knives are really my passion. Some of that other stuff, I mean, it's part of my life. I don't know if I carry as much of a passion for it anymore. Like firearms, I've been passionate about them at some point in my life. I don't know so much anymore. Yeah, so that didn't change that one bit. Let me see if I can fail this blade. So anyways, hey, there's some updates on the channel. Yeah, I can't fail that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna weaken this detent a little bit. The video's gotten a little long because I'm blabbermouth, but I'm gonna change this detent just slightly. Okay, so quick strip of the knife. I just had to get it apart, and the reason being is because I'm gonna push this lock and take some of the space up. See the space between this part of the liner and this part, the lock bar? Well, I'm going to decrease the amount of that space. That's what my whole function is. So I kind of gauged it. And right there, I took about half of it. Didn't take much. And, you know, this is a process. You kind of do it. You may have to do it again and do it again. But I decreased the amount of space in there. I don't know if you can see it. I think I'm going to stay with that right there. Yeah, I'm going to. All right, I'm going to put it back together. But before I do, I'm going to dabble just a tiny little bit in that track, that oil right there. All right, I'm going to put it back together, and then I'll come back. Okay, so that didn't take me long. I'm back to this point. I don't want to put this on yet because I may have to get back in there, but let's check it. So I'm going to try to fail it, make sure we still have a good detent. Yeah, I mean, I can't fail it. It's not drop shot, but just a little bit of coaxing. Let's try that Spidey flick. I mean, it's a little improved. It's just, this is just one for me that just the ergonomics, where that's located and how I got to get it with my finger, but I'm getting it pretty good now. So one of the things, whenever you weaken a detent like that, you take some off of it. I didn't take much. It didn't change it hardly at all. Because, I mean, I could still not fail it with the flipper tab. So, but make sure you check it. Yeah, so we're good. Because, man, if you lighten that detent, next thing you know, you tap that and it could fail. And it's all because there's not enough tension on that lock bar. But this one's in good shape. All right, let's get that pocket clip back on there. And, yeah, like I say, I'm not a huge fan of this one screw recessed into G10. I mean, would have went a long way to just leave this designed to where it took 2 screws, because that would have definitely stabilized it long term. I mean, it's in there pretty good. I'm not going to change anything. Let me check for tension, make sure I don't have any slop. Yeah, I don't. If anything, maybe I can loosen it a little bit. Yeah, probably not. That was pretty loose. I'm going to Loctite that actually. Pretty smooth. Let me check for play. Yeah, good to go. But I'm going to Loctite that screw. Yeah, it had, I mean, yeah, I'm going to Loctite it. It's nothing. Just take a quick millisecond. I say that, but then I can't find my Loctite. Ah, there it is. It's hiding back there. There we go. I'm not going to put a lot on it. Just a little dab will do ya. Just a tiny little goo. A little booger. And then what I'll do after the video, just so y'all know, because once you do that, you should really let it sit for at least 24 hours. Let that sit up. But after the video, I'll retension that because I'm here messing with it. And as I'm flipping it, that could be coming loose. And then if it's loose, that won't harden. It won't do what it's supposed to do. But I can tell you this thing's running pretty good, man. It's not quite drop shot, but man, it's not quite off of it either. Yeah, pretty nice. I like the thumb action on this knife. The back flippers, pretty solid. Pretty nice. Can I fail it? I better not be able to. I did it a minute ago. Yeah, no, that thing's running. Which means if I release the tension from that lock bar, yeah, that blade's completely free. Yep, nice. All right, ergonomics. So, I mean, y'all already know this thing's kind of in my category, man. And because it's got self-defense capabilities. And the reason is just because of the way the knife's built right here. So this grip Got good jimping on the flipper tab. It's locking my finger in there. There's no jimping on this back spine, but it's got this little swoop behind the thumb stud, which is a really nice platform for my thumb. So when I'm in here, now my thumb can change position, but this is really locked in. All my fingers line up here the way they're supposed to. It's got a good, strong grip. So I'm going to say, this is not very confident. This is confident. This is very confident. Well, this is leaning towards very confident. We're definitely over the line of a confident grip, which, I've explained it many, many times what this confident grip is about, but this is a locked in grip right here. And if I had to bring this to bear in a self-defense situation, I'm confident that I'm going to be able to hold on to this knife and defend myself. It'd be pretty hard to come against me with bare hands if I'm wielding this knife, because I understand the mission. The mission isn't to attack and stab. The mission's to defend myself, and this knife would get it done, man, in my opinion. So backup knife, potentially even a primary weapon if it needed to be. So yeah, I dig the ergonomics. Nothing's hot in here. This is all kind of rounded off reasonably well, so nothing's really poking me hard, making me not like it. The clip is pretty much invisible. Look at that, titanium pocket clip, all this, and then they put a titanium pocket clip on it. I didn't even notice it. Yeah. Hey, speaking of that clip, let's check it. How's it work? All right. If it'll get over that thick stuff, I think it's going to go pretty good. But that angle, remember I mentioned that in the beginning. Ooh, and it is pretty thin up in there. So yeah, I couldn't even get the thick ones to go all the way. And then that angle coming out of there is no different than the angle going in. I mean, it runs nice, but boy, is it grippy. I wonder, sometimes you go the second time and it runs better because it trains itself a little bit. If I could get that lip to lay down versus bunch up like that, I think it would run really well. But I mean, obviously this isn't a win when I got to manipulate it that much to get it in there. Yeah, I mean, it'll go in the thick stuff if I don't try to send it all the way home. If I just go, you know what, I got to put it in that pocket for a minute, it'll go there. But that's as far as it's going to go without me messing with it. And man, that's, well over an inch sticking out of that pocket. Let's try normal jeans thickness pants. Yeah, it's going to run all the way, and it's got a good grip. Like, it's not coming out of there anytime soon. Yeah, a little snappy coming out of there. My favorite spot back here runs perfectly there. Yeah, it's got a nice grip. Bit in there pretty good. So, I'm not going to say, man, I'm going to go thumbs up on the clip, but it's not ultimate, And of course, the design of it's not ultimate either. The fact that they put a titanium clip is pretty good. But, I mean, look, we all do it when we're flicking, we're counting on this clip and sideways pressure with our fingers to maintain a grip on this knife. So yeah, it's not optimum. I'm not going to thumb down on it, but it's not an A+, man, for sure. Be aware of it if you're thinking of the knife. This design right here. Now, if you don't wear them big, thick pants like that, you're probably good to go. Probably going to work just fine. Is it sharp? I only have a tiny little piece of paper sitting here, but let's test it on that. I mean, how satisfying is that, right? Just the tiniest little paper, and this thing's so sharp, it's just shredding it. I mean, come on, TWOSUN. I don't know who the old dude running the sharpener was the day they did this knife, but I'm going to say that guy is an expert. You know the rule on being an expert, right? It's like 10,000 hours. If you put 10,000 hours down on something, you're an expert. Well, this guy, he's got his time in. And look at the steel in this. The grind marks in it. It's just beautiful in that 12C. I mean, that's pretty, man. I like it. Tool steel heaven right there. Very nice. All right, price and availability. So currently, I'm only finding this knife. That let me run through it again. Come on, man, pay attention. The TS168. It's in 12C27 steel. I am only finding this on eBay on the DWin sales. So I do see some running while the date of this video. So I believe you can pick one up there. I would definitely, if you're interested, hit that DWin link below and see if they're running this. This particular one I picked up around 38 bucks, 40 bucks, I think I paid for it. So, a little more than, say, a low end, I don't know, a Sativian or something. But pretty darn nice, man. I like this knife, and definitely worthy of some pocket time for sure. Fit and finish is really nice. All this is super smooth. It's been milled really good. Safety checks. I almost forgot. Wonder if I can catch that blade. Can't catch it there. I can catch that tip there just a little bit. Like I'm really digging my finger in to get that tip. So I'll say the clip is good. The tip is, be aware of it. Be aware of it. I mean, it's just slightly right there at that edge. And then the backspacer's wonderful. Yeah. So hey, you know what? This is one of those that I think it qualifies. I think I can do. Yeah, this would be a great knife with some gloves. Be easy to get in and out of the pocket. Easy to run. It's got that nice choil up top too there. It's got a reasonable finger choil. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to want that because I'm encroaching right on the back of that. So, I mean, if I just dip my finger in there, I think I'm safe. But then, this is a potential. But I don't know. It's a more rugged knife than that, I think. All right. I'm going to wrap up. TS168, 12C27. I'm going to say right around $40-ish on eBay from DWin. Appreciate you.